Hey guys, here we are at 8th part of the story. Weakened to their breaking point, the allied shinobi forces have little chance of survival. The Jubi had fired a colossal Baijudama in their direction. The former Hokage are too busy trying to save them to focus on Kurama and the rest of the Biju's final plan of action. We will see as Naruto and Sakura go back in time to prevent disaster. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. Now, let's jump right in. Mei followed Naruto through the Hokage mansion towards the secure meeting room. She had left Chojuro at the Uzumaki compound. With them, two Anbu with cat masks, a man and a woman were following them. Behind the Anbu were Team 7, Naruto's team. As they reached a pair of large wooden doors, two hidden Anbu fell from the ceiling. Bowing to Naruto, the Anbu pushed open the door before standing aside. Entering the room, Mei looked about and saw that it was quite large. Behind a large wooden desk, sat Hiruzen and Hideyoshi with a place free on Hideyoshi's right. Mei noticed that Naruto didn't even hesitate as he took the free seat. Mei raised an eyebrow at the subtle power play. Team Guy and Danzo's team didn't hear yet? Naruto queried with a bit of annoyance. They will be here soon, Naruto-kun. We are the ones who are early after all, Hideyoshi said with a smile while Hiruzen nodded. I was sure I was on time. Anyway, this is Terumi Mei-san. She is the leader of the Kiri bloodline rebels. Mei-san, these are Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Sun Daime Hokage, and Hideyoshi Dono, the Fire Daimyo. Mei bowed as she said, it's an honor to be in your presence. I thank you for hearing my request. Request? You didn't tell her, Naruto-kun? Hideyoshi asked, only for Naruto to shake his head. Ah. It seems to have slipped my mind. I was discussing different tactics with Kakashi-sensei, Nico and Tora. Hideyoshi nodded as Naruto turned to Mei and said, I didn't bring you here to make a request of aid. I have already taken care of it. Konoha and by extension Hino-kuni are willing to offer aid. I brought you here to introduce you to the team and to brief the team. Mei's eyes widened in shock before she bowed and said, I'm grateful for your initiative on my behalf, Naruto-sama. Naruto was about to speak when the doors opened again, revealing Team Guy being led by Guy himself along with a team of 4 blank-masked Anbu with Danzo leading them. Ah. Danzo, Team Guy. Good morning, please take a seat everyone. We wish to get into the crux of matter, Hiruzen said as he motioned for everyone to seat. Everyone bowed before taking a seat in front of the desk. After everyone was comfortable, Hideyoshi motioned for Naruto to continue. Clearing his throat, Naruto said, you all are here because Mei-san here has requested Uzu's aid in defeating Yagura, the Ondaime Mizukage. Konoha has decided to help. Mei-san is the present leader of the Kiri bloodline rebels. Any questions? You may speak freely. The Jonin of Team Guy looked at each other in confusion while Sasuke just looked focused. Sakura was looking determined with Kakashi looking at Naruto with boredom. Danzo and his men along with the 2 Anbu were stoic. It was Guy who spoke. If I may, Hokage-sama, why choose my team? I can understand Kakashi's team and myself, but my Jonin as well? I can understand your confusion, Guy, but to be blunt, your commander recommends you and your team. Guy nodded before asking, may I assume that our commander will be Naruto-sama? I heard the rumors that he has been recently promoted to Jonin. Hiruzen nodded with a smile, that's right. It seems that your information gathering G skills haven't dulled in the past year. You have been a Jonin sensei. You will be joined by some Uzu shinobi as well. I see, Hokage-sama, and congratulations to you for your promotion, Naruto-sama, Guy said, getting a nod from Naruto. Now I am sure you Jonin are wondering why you have been chosen to go help in a war, Hiruzen said, getting a nod from Team Guy. With a smile, Hiruzen said, most of you have learned Ninshu under Naruto-kun and mastered it to an appreciable degree. We are sending you to gain experience in real time. Since Naruto-kun will be there, he will evaluate and help you progress more. The Jonin nodded in understanding while Neji just looked confused. After a moment's silence, Naruto spoke up, Danzo, is this the team I will be observing and commanding? Hi Naruto-sama. This is Alpha. My best team. Their captain is Homura. His speciality is shape transformation on fire nature chakra. The others I will let them introduce themselves when you have more time. Team, you shall serve under Naruto-sama as the commander. Hi Danzo-sama. It will be an honor to serve under you, Naruto-sama, Homura said with a bow as the rest of his team bowed as well. Naruto nodded before turning to Hiruzen and said, I was wondering if you have any need for Sai, Jigi? Because, now that I think about it, this will be a good time to test out Sai as well. His progress has been stellar in comparison to the other Jonin other than Sakura. He is in the reserves, so it's up to you, Naruto-kun. Do as you like. Mei-san, I ask that you rest for this week while we all arrange for supplies to be sealed into scrolls. Jonin, I hope that I don't have to stress how being prepared is important in this mission. This will be an S-ranked mission just because of the close proximity to an enemy Jinchuriki and an army in their own backyard. Make sure you have stocked up on tools, pills and rations. Naruto-kun, do you have anything to add? Everyone, meet me at Training Ground 43 tomorrow at noon. We will have a few teamwork exercises and a planning session. Mei-san, I would advise you to join us. Your input will be very welcome in preparation for the mission. We will leave for the mission a week from today. We will meet at the Eastern Gate at 0600 hours. Make sure to be prepared so that we aren't delayed. Yes, that means you 10-10. Dismissed. Kakashi-sensei, can you escort Mei-san back to the Uzumaki compound? Sure thing, Naruto. And Nico, tell Sai to come to the Uzumaki compound in an hour. Nico nodded with a bow before vanishing in a swirl of leaves. So, what will you be up to now, Naruto-kun? Hideyoshi asked, only for Naruto to hand over a pair of letters. Hideyoshi looked surprised before opening the letters and quickly pursuing through the contents. After finishing with them, Hideyoshi handed them over to Hiruzen, who did the same. Handing them back, Hiruzen asked, "Why show us these letters? I was hoping for some advice. Hiyashi-san approached me yesterday about Hinata's feelings for me. I was originally going to just subtly probe Hinata for her intentions, but getting those letters have left me a bit uncertain on the matter. Mom and Hinata's mother had a verbal agreement for an alliance through marriage. I know that my heritage doesn't matter to Hinata, especially since she has had a crush on me since we were far younger. Then there were these talks father had with the priestess of Oni no Kuni. I really don't know what to do. I won't mind marrying Hinata, as long as the Hyuga elders doesn't try and manipulate her. What should I do? I wish to honor both of their wishes." Hiruzen and Hideyoshi smiled as Hideyoshi said, "It is a wise man who asks for advice even though they have some ideas themselves. I say that you agree to marry Hinata-san, but on your own terms. Don't let those foolish elders dictate the contract. The Uzumaki are a higher house. If you want, I and Hiruzen would love to help you show those fools their place. As for Oni no Kuni, what do you suggest, Hiruzen?" "I would say that you go and meet with the priestess. I am sure that she has a daughter your age. Oni has been an ally of Konoha since the birth of the village. The only reason I can think of Minato supporting an union with the princess will be to try and get their unique dojutsu. Rumors state that the females of the priestess's line has the ability to glimpse into the future. It is up to you, Naruto-kun, but you can be sure that Mirakudono is an honorable lady and so must be her daughter." Naruto nodded before saying, "Thank you for the advice. I will consider them. I must be going. If you are free tonight, I would like to invite you both to dine at the Uzumaki compound." "I would love to visit, Naruto-kun, just know that I will be bringing Shijimi-chan and Kana-chan with me. I hope you don't mind?" "Not at all. The more the merrier. What about you, Gigi?" "I will be sure to come. I am sure you have already invited." "Konohamaru," Hiruzen said with a smile as Naruto nodded. "Then we will see you later tonight. Have a good day, Naruto-kun." Naruto nodded as a clone phased into existence beside him and disappeared in a swirl of wind along with the original. "I am afraid that Naruto-kun is taking too much on his plate too soon. He will burn himself out," Hideyoshi said with worry, only for Hiruzen to chuckle. "I doubt it. He was smart enough to fool the whole of Konoha. Thanks to him, we have been able to shore up our defenses. The small oversights in security he and Sakura used to exploit in getting out of Konoha. I am sure he is smart enough to realize when he needs rest. But yet, I will make sure that he takes some rest after returning from Kiri. Make sure that you do, Hiruzen. I have a feeling that his continued well-being is important to the world," Hideyoshi said with a somber expression. Hiruzen nodded. "So do I. Gamamaru-sama taking him in as an apprentice was the first sign. All the summons are interested in Naruto. Enma himself believes that Naruto-kun is the Yogen no-ko. The child of prophecy? What prophecy do you mean?" Enma wasn't much forthcoming with information. "The only reason I know much about the prophecy is because Gamamaru-sama has revealed its contents to Jiraiya." Hideyoshi nodded before saying, "That's quite interesting, Hiruzen, but I think we should keep such discussions to ourselves. There is no telling what would happen if the general population learns of it." "I agree with you, Hideyoshi-sama. The only reason I support everything Naruto-kun does is because Gamamaru-sama has said that all of Naruto-kun's decisions will only better the world." From Gamamaru-sama's tone, I believe that interfering in Naruto-kun's affairs will only lead to ill results. That is concerning that a sage of Gamamaru-sama's caliber would imply such a thing. Then again, all of his actions have only benefited Konoha and Uzu. I will see you tonight, Hiruzen. I have to give my wife and granddaughter time to get ready. I still can't understand how they take over 8 hours to get ready while I only take 1. Hiruzen nodded. Then I shall humbly ask that you forgive me for not escorting you out of the mansion, but I still have a lot of paperwork to finish before tonight. Aren't you using Kage Bunshine as Naruto-kun suggested? I am, but it seems that shadow clones have a personality of their own. Some tend to laze about. Then there are the papers that need blood seals for authentication. Hideyoshi nodded as he stood up. Then I shall leave you to it. Hey Naruto-kun. What's this I hear about you being promoted? Ino called out as Naruto appeared in front of the Hyuga estate. Naruto chuckled as he turned and greeted Team 10. Hey guys. How's it going? Troublesome blonde. When were you going to tell us about your promotion? Shikamaru asked with a chuckle. Yeah. You should give us a treat. Choji said, munching on his bag of chips. How the hell did you guys learn about it so quickly? I was promoted just last night during the council meeting. Anyway, I have a meeting with Hiyashi-san, so if you will excuse me. Sure thing, but we need to celebrate. The first of our age group to be promoted. Why don't you meet us at Yakiniku tonight, my treat? When did you win a lottery, Ino? Hey Naruto, congratulations for being promoted to Jonin man. What? Jonin? Ino exclaimed in shock. What the hell are you talking about, dog breath? Mom told the whole clan last night. The council has unanimously promoted Naruto to Jonin after his performance in Nami. You should see his bingo book entry. I already knew he was S-ranked, but to get a flea on site from 2 separate countries is amazing. Kiba bragged with pride. Congratulations Naruto-sama, Hinata said with a minor stutter while Shino just nodded in agreement. Thanks all of you. And Ino, I am sorry to say that I am occupied tonight. I have some guests from Kiri and Hideyoshi Jiji, his family, Hokage Jiji and Konohamaru will be coming over tonight. How about you all come by the day after tomorrow for the party? I am sure Mokoba-sama will be pleased to meet all of my friends. Who's Mokoba-sama? Kiba asked with confusion only for Ino to squeal out, a living Uzumaki who survived the purge. Naruto-kun found 13 living full-blooded Uzumaki in Nami. They are all here now. What? Naruto isn't alone anymore? Hey Naruto, why didn't you tell us sooner? Kiba asked only to find that Naruto and Hinata had vanished. What? Where did they go? While you were busy hearing what Ino-san was saying, Naruto-sama and Hinata walked into the Hyuga compound. It seems that Naruto-sama has invited Hinata to the meeting with Hiyashi-san, Shino said with a monotone causing Kiba to grumble. Hey, Ino. When did you meet the Uzumaki survivors? Kiba asked turning to Ino only to find Team 10 had left as well. What the hell? Where did everyone go now? Do you know Shino? Hearing no answer, Kiba turned to see that even Shino had left him standing in front of the Hyuga estate with Akamaru on his head. You know Akamaru, I now understand what it means to be ignored. How the hell did Naruto deal with such things for so long? Akamaru barked consolingly as Kiba walked off towards his clan compound. Welcome to the Hyuga estate Naruto-sama. And welcome home daughter. Naruto nodded as Hinata replied, I am home father. Come, follow me to my study Naruto-sama. Hinata, get cleaned up and rested. Your grandfather wishes to test you on your Juken. Actually Hiyashi-san, I think that it would be better if Hinata-chan joins us. Don't you agree? Hiyashi looked like he bit into a rather sour lemon. Nodding, Hiyashi said, of course Naruto-sama. Daughter, quickly refresh yourself and come back. Send for some tea and refreshments. I am sure Naruto-sama will appreciate a small snack. Ko bowed and quickly retreated while Hinata bowed to Naruto before leaving to quickly refreshen herself. After they were gone, Hiyashi motioned for Naruto to follow him to the study. After taking a seat, Hiyashi asked, how did Hanabi perform this morning Naruto-sama? Naruto raised an eyebrow and said, much better than I expected of one her age. Her chakra control is impeccable. It will be a great boon in her training. The only reason she will be held back is because of the rigid mentality I see in her. Not only her, but in Neji as well. I haven't taught other Hyuga, but from their performance in Juken in comparison to Hinata's, I would say that it was a mentality that was bred into them. Hinata's mentality is more progressive. Because of that, her performance is greater in Ninshu. While I'm not saying that her mentality is wrong, but it isn't the right one to truly prosper in ninju. One needs to be creative. Unfortunately, they aren't. I see. So you say that their training in Juken is holding them back? Hiyashi asked with a hard tone. Not at all. It isn't the Juken that is holding them back. It is your clan's subconscious beliefs of superiority of the Juken and inferiority of other arts. That is the mentality I am speaking about. From what little I have observed through my emotion sensing, most Hyuga have similar beliefs. If you wish that I keep teaching Hanabi the ways of ninju, then I request that you or your clan elders don't interfere. If you believe that it is impossible for you to not interfere, then tell me so that I won't waste my time. I see, Naruto-sama. You have given me much to consider, but I can promise you that neither the elders nor I shall intervene unless we think that your training is being detrimental to Hanabi's growth. Naruto nodded as Ko walked into the room with a tray of tea and sweets. Kneeling down, Ko quickly poured out 3 glasses of herbal tea before placing the cups in front of their recipients, one for the absent Hinata, before getting up, bowing and quickly retreating out of the room. Naruto and Hiyashi picked up their own cups and started sipping when Hinata and Hanabi entered the room. Bowing, Hinata took the free place beside Hiyashi before sipping her own tea. Hanabi looked confused but bowed and was going to sit down beside Hinata when Hiyashi said, "Hanabi, this meeting is not for you. I will speak to you later." Hanabi narrowed her eyes as she stiffly bowed and stood up to leave when Naruto said, "Hanabi, come sit by me. I am sure your Shishiyui won't mind. After all, the results of this discussion will affect you as well." Hiyashi looked startled for a moment but quickly hid it and said, "Of course, Naruto-sama. I just assumed you wanted it to be private." "Yes. Private, but not from immediate family," Naruto said with a no-nonsense tone as Hanabi sat down beside Naruto with a confused look. Hinata on the other hand looked at Naruto with suspicion before recalling the discussion they had in the morning and blushed. Hanabi quirked an eyebrow at her elder sister's strange behavior but decided to only listen. "First, I would like all of you to read this before we proceed. It is a letter my mother left for me," Naruto said, handing it to Hanabi with a small smirk. Naruto could feel the annoyance Hiyashi was giving off. After reading the letter, Hanabi handed it back to Naruto, who then handed it to Hinata. Hiyashi looked at Hanabi with barely concealed shock. It was quite unlike Hanabi to act that way. Normally, she would have handed the letter to him to return. Hiyashi was so deep in contemplation of his younger daughter's behavior that he was surprised when the letter was handed to him. Schooling his mind, Hiyashi quickly read the letter. Only one paragraph caught his attention. "Naruto-kun, I would like that you honor the verbal agreement I had with Hyuga Hitomi, if she gave birth to a daughter. She is one of my only friends in Konoha. I was named godmother to her first child. I hope that you and her child gets along." With shaky hands, Hiyashi gave the letter back to Naruto and asked, "Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know of their verbal agreement. Why didn't you tell me that my mother was Hinata-chan's godmother? I am sure you knew." Naruto replied only for Hiyashi to say, "I didn't think it relevant in the situation. I didn't want you to feel obligated while making your decision." Naruto nodded while Hanabi asked in shock, "This is about your marriage to Nii-sama." "Hanabi, mind your manners. No need to scold her, Hiyashi-san. I am surprised that she didn't realize what the meeting was about right away." Hinata did. "Hinata-chan, I know that you like me a lot. I can easily feel your emotions. What I want to know is your thoughts on a possible marriage with me. Don't let the letter or anyone else pressure you into accepting. I will only consider this if you are sure that it's what you want. I will be leaving for Kiri next week. I should return within 2 weeks. With the position the rebels are in now, Yagura and his forces will be defeated within that time. You have until then to consider the offer. To be truthful, I kinda like you as well, so don't think that I am doing this out of duty. You are one of the first to treat me as myself. That makes you very precious to me. Now I will leave you to your thoughts. Hiyashi-san, Hanabi, walk with me. I wish to talk to you about ninju training." With that said, Naruto stood up with Hiyashi and Hanabi. As they were about to leave, Hanabi looked at her sister to see the girl was daydreaming with her face glowing like a cherry in snow. Grinning, Hanabi filed away the blackmail material away for future teasing and ran after her father and Naruto. As evening approached, the people within the Uzumaki compound were becoming more frantic. The clan heads of the newly formed Momochi, Kanjiki and Mikeso clans and the newly reformed Yuki clan were fidgeting about beside Naruto. Behind them stood the members of their clans, children included. All of them dressed in their finest robes. Right behind the clan heads stood their respective clan elders, who for the Momochi, Kanjiki and Mikeso were none Just as the sun was setting, Konohamaru and Sakura appeared in formal kimonos, with Sakura pulling on Konohamaru's ear. "What have I told you about using such a vulgar jutsu, Kono-kun?" Naruto felt a shiver run down his spine at Sakura's sweet tone. It reminded him of the tone Tsunade tends to have right before punishing Jiraiya. Naruto hoped for Konohamaru's sake that he didn't use the Oiroku no Jutsu. He should have never taught him the jutsu in this timeline. "Forgive me, Sakura-sama. I promise I won't use the Oiroku no Jutsu again. I just used it to punish Baka Ebisu." Konohamaru pleaded only for Sakura to crash a fist on his head, growling out, "Baka hentai. Boss. Save me." Konohamaru called as he ran towards Naruto with a large welt on his head. Sakura and Naruto just shook their heads before greeting each other. "It seems that you finally took my advice and bought more formal kimonos. You look handsome in that," Sakura said with a smile. Naruto was wearing a burnt orange kimono with black lightning-like patterns flowing randomly through the fabric. "You look wonderful as well, Sakura-chan. The deep red really contrasts your hair." Naruto replied, eyeing Sakura's deep red kimono with sky blue Sakura petal embroidery. "Hey boss, what about me?" Konohamaru asked, striking a pose. Sakura and Haku giggled as Naruto said, "You look like a well-dressed monkey." Konohamaru pouted as Naruto ruffled Konohamaru's spiky hair. Konohamaru was wearing a black kimono with yellow flames licking up the hems. "Konohamaru, stop running away so much," Hiruzen scolded as he walked up to the entrance of the compound with Hideyoshi and Hideyoshi's family. "Yojigi. You really need to hand over the hat. You can't even keep up with me anymore," Konohamaru teased, causing Sakura and Naruto to shake their heads. "Good evening, Naruto-kun, Sakura-chan. I hope Konohamaru hasn't been a nuisance." "Good evening, Hokage-sama, Daimyo-sama, Shijimi-sama, Kana-sama." Sakura greeted with a bow. "Yes, good evening. I hope you all have brought a big appetite along because my clan members and retainers have busied themselves fixing up a scrumptious feast." "Good evening, Naruto-kun. I must tell you, I was shocked to hear from Hideyoshi-kun what you did to the Iwanin. What were you thinking, young man, taking on a contingent of elite Taiwanin along?" Shijimi scolded with mock anger. "Sorry for worrying you, Shijimi-butchan, but I was confident that they weren't a threat," Naruto said with a grin. Shijimi smiled as Hideyoshi said, "I should have warned you, Naruto-kun. Good evening." "Good evening, Naruto-sama," Kana said with a bow. Naruto nodded with a smile before turning to his guests and saying, "Now that everyone is here, I can introduce my clan elders and the heads and elders of my retainer clans." "Ah. Now I see the reason for the dinner. You wish to show off your clan and clan retainers. If I had realized that, I would have brought my own entourage of retainers to counter," Hideyoshi said with a teasing grin. Naruto smiled and said, "I am sure that my clan and retainers would outshine yours. Anyway, this is Uzumaki Mocha Obasama." "Well met, Hideyoshi-sama, Shijimi-sama, Kanaheim, Hiruzen-kun." Mocha greeted with a mischievous glint in her eyes. Seeing the glint, Hiruzen started sweating while the others looked strangely at Mocha. They nodded their heads in greetings as Naruto then introduced, "I am sure this man requires no introduction, but for the case of formality, this is Momochi Zabuza, head of the newly formed Momochi noble clan of Uzashiogakuer." "Greetings," Zabuza said with a bow, foregoing any smiling to avoid startling anyone with his shark-like teeth. "This is Kanjiki Damwan, head of the newly formed Kanjiki noble clan of Uzashiogakuer." "Greetings. It is a humbling experience to be in the presence of such great men and their families," Damon said with a bow and a smile. "This young lady is Sueren of the newly formed Mikeso noble clan of Uzashiogakuer. Welcome to the Uzumaki clan compound. I hope you have a pleasant evening," Sueren said with a bow. "This young lady is Yuki Haku of the Yuki clan, recently raised to nobility when they joined Uzashiogakuer. And the man behind her is her clan elder, Katsujin-san. Greetings. I hope that I can be of assistance while everyone is here. Please enjoy the feast. I have personally supervised the making of the desserts," Haku said while Katsujin bowed in greeting. "It is a pleasure to meet you all. I wish you all and your clansmen a prosperous life. I am sure we all would love to hear of how you all came to be found by Naruto-kun, isn't that right, Shijimi-chan? Kanakin?" "Hyoji-sama," Kana said as Shijimi nodded in agreement before looking about with a frown. "Does something displeases you, Shijimi-butchan?" Naruto asked with a frown, only for the woman to shake her head and say, "Nothing of that nature. I was just trying to see if your teammate, Uchiha-san, was here or not. I didn't really invite anyone else. The reason Sakura-chan is here is because she is both a trusted friend and the clan doctor." She tends to take her duty too seriously sometimes, making sure that I don't deviate from her prescribed diet. And with good cause. You would try and subsist only on ramen. I will not allow such a travesty to pass, Sakura said with a glare causing many to snicker at Naruto's expense before Mocha spoke up. You know Sakura-chan, we Uzumaki have always been addicted to ramen ever since the dish was first created. To try and wean off an Uzumaki from ramen is like weaning off a fish from water. I am not trying to wean Naruto off ramen, I am just making sure that he doesn't stunt his growth. As his personal doctor, I think you can forgive me of my stance. Let us take this to the dining room, I am sure that we will have an entertaining discussion on the merits of ramen, Hideyoshi said with a grin as Naruto nodded in agreement before leading his guests, clan elder and the heads and elders of the retainer clans to the dining room. As the group was about to partake in the scrumptious feast in front of them, Haku's aunt walked into the room with Jiraiya following behind. I am sorry to disturb you and your guests Naruto-sama, but Jiraiya of the Sannin is here. As per your orders, I have escorted him to you. Really Naruto? What the hell were you thinking taking on a whole contingent of I-1 and alone? I mean come on, even Han and Roshi were present, Jiraiya said without even taking in who were present in the room. A short chuckle drew the white-haired sage's eyes causing them to bug out in shock. Jiraiya declared, please forgive my insolence Hideyoshi-sama. I didn't realize you were in the room, not with the worry I had over my godson's crazy actions. No need to bow Jiraiya. You have done enough for Konoha and Hai no Kuni to get that privilege. Now come and join us, I am sure Naruto-kun will agree with me, Hideyoshi said with a sideways glance to Naruto, who just nodded in agreement causing Jiraiya to sigh in relief before taking a seat beside his old sensei, the Hokage. Yo sensei. Good to have you back Jiraiya, but why have you come back so soon? I thought that you were out searching for Orochimaru's whereabouts? I just came back to scold Naruto for his crazy stunt before heading off towards Mizuno Kuni. I have information that there is a hidden base somewhere on a more remote island. I just wanted to make sure that the snake isn't holed up there. Ah, thank you, Jiraiya said taking the saucer of sake before something caught his attention. Everyone watched with amusement as Jiraiya looked about with shock before exclaiming, where did all these people come from? I was wondering when you would realize that there were more people than you expected, Hiruzen said with a grin. Really Uro-sennin, spy master of Konoha, are you saying that even you are fallible? From what I know about you, you would learn of an event before it occurs. Are you getting too old of late? Naruto said with a chuckle as Jiraiya huffed in indignation causing everyone else to snicker. Anyway, let me introduce you to everyone. You already know Gigi, Hideyoshi Gigi, Shijimi Buchan, Kanaheim, Sakura-chan and Konohamaru. The rest are members of the Uzumaki clan or retainer clans of Uzu. Jiraiya dumbly nodded with wide eyes as everyone introduced themselves. After introductions were over, Jiraiya asked, how did you find so many people so fast? Nami? Was all Naruto said causing Jiraiya to frown in confusion before his eyes widened in realization. They hid out in Nami? Why the hell didn't I ever think of that happening? And finally, this is Terumi Mei-san of the Kiri Rebels. Mei nodded in greetings. The rebel head? I don't even want to know why she's here, Jiraiya said as Fu walked into the room carrying another platter of food. Jiraiya looked up to thank her when he realized who was serving him. I heard what happened in Taki, turning to Naruto, Jiraiya said, I am amazed at how easily you forced Taki to concede their Jinchuriki. Now that I think about it, how the hell did you trick Iwaya into thinking that you dissipated a Baijudama? Everyone looked at Jiraiya with barely concealed amusement as Zabuza said, I was there Jiraiya-sama. I can assure you that Naruto-sama really did separate a Baijudama into two halves before absorbing one half and dissipating the other. Jiraiya felt his jaw drop at the revelation. He just couldn't think of any way to do that. Before the white-haired shinobi could ask, Naruto said, before you ask, I can't teach it to you. Not with the level of Senjutsu mastery you, Fukasaku-senpai and Shima-senpai have. Only I and Gamamaru-sensei can do it at the moment. Jiraiya nodded in understanding. Ah. Now I understand. You used your connection to nature to separate and dissipate the Baijudama. Interesting concept. Close but not exactly, I used pure natural energy manipulation. I will tell you later. Jiraiya nodded in agreement as they all began to socialize and have dinner. Now that everyone is here, Naruto said sending an amused glance to a sheepish Kakashi, Mei-san can you please explain to us the condition of the war when you left? Mei nodded, we have nearly won the war. Most of our army is hidden close to Kiri. Unfortunately, Yagura has an elite task force assigned to disrupt our supply line and our informants. This has allowed Yagura to push us back a bit. While we can still win, there would be immense loss of innocent lives in the effort. I see. Then what do you truly want us that we help you in the final battle that is on the horizon? That's right. We also have intelligence that Yagura may just be under control of someone. Maybe be some kind of control seal. That's the reason I want your help. While killing him is something within my ability, though after a brutal battle, that's without him going full bijou on us. The collateral damage will be immense. I have hope that you will be able to defeat him without much effort like you did to the Iwa's Jinchuriki. Naruto nodded as Guy asked, Naruto Teiko, how will we be helping? Good question, Guy. That's easy. While I engage Yagura, I want you all to take care of his loyal supporters. Try not to kill everyone. The Genin will be doing hit-and-run attacks on the flanks, but their main job will be to escort the supplies and protect the medical area. Root, you shall be leading the espionage engagements against Yagura's forces and free up the supply lines. Nico, Tora, you two will lead the Genin in their missions. Rest of you will be doing whatever is necessary at the time. Now for the teamwork exercises, Naruto said as a huge burst of smoke filled the clearing behind him. As the smoke cleared, hundreds of Naruto clones occupied the previously empty field. Oh great! We become targets for Naruto's experiments again. Sasuke grumbled as everyone quickly rushed into the forests around the clearing. Chojuro asked, they are only clones. How will this help? It's not about power, it's about learning to work together and overcoming superior odds against you. Besides, these are more durable than normal clones. Why don't you try and see? Chojuro looked at Mei, who nodded in permission. Chojuro heaved at Haramkare before bringing it down on the one clone in the clearing. To his surprise, the clone was thrown back but didn't dispel. Now do you understand why I'm using clones? Chojuro nodded with a blush as Naruto continued, besides, I didn't really defeat the Iwa contingent. It was a single clone. Mei and Chojuro felt their jaws drop and eyes bug out at the revelation. Leaving the duo in their stupor, Naruto sat down and started to meditate. Pathetic. I expected more from all of you. The Genin, I can understand, but has peace made you all so complacent that you would ignore common sense that is prevalent during war? Kakashi and Guy lowered their heads in shame. What Naruto said was true. During the Third Shinobi World War, they were ruthless paranoid killers. Now, they made rookie mistakes. They didn't expect the ambush at a prime ambush spot. They tried to defeat all of their enemies alone without thinking of the future. And finally they failed their teams by being poor leaders. Both of you will be repeating this exercise until we leave. Rest of you, good job. My clones will create different scenarios. You all will be jumbled up into random teams and asked to survive the scenario. Now dismissed. Everyone nodded as they left the training ground. Naruto turned to Mei and said, I am sorry you had to see that pathetic display from two of Konoha's top jonin. Don't mention it, Naruto-sama. I can understand why they became complacent. Peace is both good and bad. Good for economy but bad for military. Though I would prefer peace to war any day. I understand. You can come out, Hinata-chan. Mei looked surprised at first for not sensing the girl's presence but shook it off. I will leave you two alone, shall I? Come on Chojuro, let's head back to the Uzumaki compound. Hi Mei-sama, Chojuro said as they nodded, but before they could leave Naruto said, before you go, let me introduce Hyuga Hinata. The heiress of the Hyuga clan. Hinata, this is Terumi Mei-san, the head of the Kiri bloodline rebels, and that is Chojuro, the present wielder of Haramkare. One of the next generation Kiri no Shinobi Gatana Shichinin Shu. It's a pleasure to meet you both, Hinata said with a bow. Mei bowed back as she said, the pleasure is ours. Naruto-sama, can I talk to you privately? Naruto didn't have to answer as Mei and Chojuro had already left in a sunshine. We are completely alone now, Hinata-chan. What do you wish to speak to me about? Stealing her nerves, Hinata said with a blush, I wish to inform you that I would be honored to be betrothed and later married to you. I have made up my mind and haven't been influenced by anyone to accept. Hinata stood with tense shoulders as she waited for Naruto to reply. You understand that I am required to have multiple wives? That doesn't bother you at all? None at all. It is common among nobility and royalty, so I had always expected such a situation. Besides, I know that you would never hurt me or your other wives intentionally. That's more than I can hope for. Naruto sighed before saying, if you are sure, then I would be honored to accept. Inform your father that I will be by to speak of the contract after I return from Kiri. I will see you later, Hinata-chan. Hinata nodded, but before Naruto left, she asked, can I have permission to call you Naruto-kun from now on? You always had permission, Naruto said with a grin before he said, how about I take you out to lunch tomorrow? An unofficial date, if you please. A bright smile dawned on the girl's face as she said, I would love to. Right after tomorrow's training? Naruto nodded before placing a hand on Hinata's shoulder and vanishing in a sunshine. They reappeared in front of the Hyuga estate, causing Hinata to look startled for a moment before kissing Naruto's cheek and walking into the estate with the brightest smile carved on her porcelain face, calling out, see you later Naruto-kun. Naruto stood there for a few moments, a palm cupping his cheek, not being able to believe the boldness the usually timid girl showed before shaking his head and vanishing. To Naruto-kun, the best of our generation, Ino exclaimed as she raised a Sakazuki saucer filled with the best sake in existence. Sake directly from my Obakuzen. Ino, are you sure you want to drink that? Naruto asked with uncertainty as most of his friends following the blonde Kunoichi's example. Only Sakura, Haku and Sasuke refraining from partaking in the rare but strong beverage. Don't worry. We were all trained by our family to survive a couple of drinks, Ino said with a cheeky grin only for Jiraiya to cough. What? You don't believe me? Jiraiya just shook his head before saying, I didn't say anything. Enjoy yourselves kids. I can guarantee that it will knock you out. Naruto and Sakura frowned at Jiraiya with disapproval while Kakashi and Yugao were hiding matching grins behind their respective masks. Behind them was Mitarashi Anko smelling her saucer with a giddy look in her eyes. Beside Anko was Yamato with a saucer of his own, a frown gracing his face as he smelled the overpowering stench of alcohol. On the other side of the small Zen garden was Sai standing with Lee, the latter of whom was pouting at everyone for not allowing him to drink in celebration. Lee, don't even think about it. I will not have you transform into that unyouthful beast again, Guy said sternly, causing Tenten to release a sigh of relief. Lee just nodded. Asuma and Kurenai looked confused at Guy's sudden change in behavior and was about to ask when Neji said, if you are wondering why Lee is forbidden from drinking, you should know that there is a good reason for it. And what is the reason? Asuma asked only for Guy to reply, Lee is a master of the drunken fist. Asuma just raised an eyebrow and asked, you can't be serious? That means his instincts towards taijutsu is off the charts? Guy nodded solemnly as Kurenai asked, sorry but you two lost me here? Oh right, you are not really well versed in taijutsu knowledge. The drunken fist can only be mastered by someone who is drunk, but the catch is that they have no formal training in the style. Only instincts guiding you. That's what Lee has mastered. Ha! I haven't faced off against a drunken fist master since the Second War. I can tell you now Kurenai, that if that Lee kid can train himself into keeping conscious control when drunk, he would make Guy look like a novice, Jiraiya said walking up to the trio of Jonin. Ino. I would advise you to move away from my fiancé before I make you, Hinata hissed out with unusual venom in her tone, drawing everyone's attention. What's happening? Iruka asked, walking towards his former students with his fellow Chunin, Izumo and Kotetsu and Do. Huh? What do you mean Hinata? And when did Naruto-kun become betrothed to you? Ino asked with a flushed face as she clung to an annoyed Naruto. Hinata narrowed her eyes as she marched up to Ino and pulled the girl off Naruto with a hiss. Since 2 days ago. Now get off. Unless you want me to juken you off. Ino narrowed her eyes as she clung even harder to Naruto, causing Hinata to prepare a juken strike when a glowing hand touched Hinata's head. The Hyuga heiress let her arms drop as the glowing hand receded, a blush adorning her face. Are you clam now Hinata? Sakura asked as she placed a similar palm on Ino's head. After a few moments, Sakura removed the palm as Ino sagged a bit before letting go of Naruto with a sheepish smile on her face. Now that you two are sober again, I would advise against drinking any more my Obakuzen's sake. The two girls nodded before Ino's eyes widened. That's why you asked me if we should be drinking it? You knew how potent the sake is? Naruto chuckled and replied, of course I knew. I had to finish a whole barrel of the stuff when I was sharing the official first drink with Gamabunta. Gamakashi chuckled and said, I was there. Surprisingly, Dad was knocked out while bro kept drinking another barrel. That's why you were able to partake in this rare liquor. Dad had to part with several barrels cut to betting that bro would not be able to finish the first barrel. Great job Naruto-kun, Anko said with a slur as she draped her arms around Naruto's shoulder and pressed her breasts into his back. Naruto's face took on a reddish hue but he nodded in appreciation. I don't think that's something to congratulate him about Anko, Iruka said with an amused smile. Why not? I will tell you something young Iruka, if he can hold his sake this well, he deserves the praise, Tucci said with a grin as he drank another saucer of sake. That's enough sake for you father, Ayame said as she took away the sake bottle in Tuchi's hand, causing everyone to chuckle at the man's expense. "Alright everyone. Are you all packed?" Naruto asked as everyone pointed to some scrolls in answer. Tenten carrying a massive one on her back. Naruto nodded before saying, "Good. Now Mei-san and Chojuro will be in the middle with the 5 Jinan forming a pentagram formation around them. Jonin and Anbu will take the 4 points of a square around the Jinan. Root will be vanguard, 300 yards in front of us. Sai and I will take rearguard, 500 yards back. Any questions?" Mei shared a look with Chojuro before asking, "What speed will we be going at?" Seeing that Mei was giving worried looks at the Jinan, Naruto smiled reassuringly and said, "I am sure that they all can easily handle Ms. Jonin's speed with ease. Isn't that right, guys? And girls?" The Jinan nodded with Neji showing a bit of uncertainty but nodding all the same. Well, there you have it. Now as for ambushes, I can guarantee that there is no way anyone can hide from me within 10 miles while I am not in Sennin mode. Everyone nodded in understanding before Chojuro asked, "What if they suppress their chakra?" "I would like to see them suppress their emotions or even their life force," Naruto said with a chuckle before he turned to the gates and said, "Alright, form up. We move out in 5. Everyone scrambled to get into position before they moved out with a serious look on their faces. Jiraiya, who was tagging along with them, decided to join Mei and Chojuro in the middle. "Now that everyone is here, Zetsu, tell us what you have learned of these sudden rumors concerning the Kyuubi Jinchuriki?" "Well, Pain-sama, to tell you the truth, the rumors aren't false. From what I have been able to gather, all of them are at least partially true. The rumor surrounding the Kyuubi defeating the B and Gobi Jinchuriki are true. The fact that he is a sage is also true. There are whispers of him being promoted to Jonin already. Now I really want to fight him," a shark-like man said with a grin. "Silence, Kisame. If what Zetsu has said is true, then only I can defeat him." Kisame nodded at the apparent leader named Pain. "Zetsu, I want you to stop gathering information on the rest of the Jinchuriki and focus on the Kyuubi." "As you wish, Pain-sama," Zetsu said as he faded from existence, leaving behind 8 other figures standing on the tips of the fingers of a gigantic grotesque-looking statue. "Leader-sama, are you sure that the Kyuubi is that dangerous to warrant your personal involvement?" "It is better to be cautious, Itachi. I am sure that you and Kisame can easily subdue the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, but know this, the Kyuubi has defeated 2 experienced Jinchuriki in Bijou mode without even tapping into his own Bijou's power. If such a target doesn't warrant my attention, what does? After all, only a god can defeat a demon. Leader-sama is right to be cautious. The Kyuubi is very dangerous. The Iwa and Kuma bingo books ranks him as beyond high S. The recommendation is flee on sight. One doesn't get such recommendation without due reason. If I am not mistaken, other than him, only 3 other shinobi have been given such accolades in living history. Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama, and Namikaze Minato, right Kakuzu-senpai? That's right, Datara. 3 Konoha ninja. The Kyuubi is the 4th. I am sure that if Leader Sama was known, he would also be ranked as such with the same recommendation. That is irrelevant, Sasori Dana. If Iwa is giving such accolades, we need to be even more cautious. The old man would sooner hand over the hat to me than grace another Konoha scum with such accolades. We should take the Kyuubi even more seriously than the Hachibi. Leader Sama, I think we are overthinking the situation. Let's not forget that he is barely 12. He may have the power, but I can assure you that he doesn't have the experience." Everyone nodded in agreement with Itachi's words. "Very well, Itachi, but let us wait on Zetsu's report. Then we can draw a better picture of the Kyuubi's abilities." "Daimyo-sama." A man, attired in Kiri court robes, screamed as he ran into the daimyo's office. The daimyo was a rather large man attired in heavy blue robes with off-white trimmings and sitting on an expensive pillow behind the small desk, signing documents. "What is it, Shota? Why have you come screaming into our office and with our son on your heels?" the daimyo asked with contempt. "Daimyo-sama, Uzumaki Naruto-sama comes to Kiri to aid the Kekai Genkai faction. Please reconsider your stance on the civil war." Shota begged as he fell on his knees and bowed in submission. "So? If Uzumaki Dono decides to help a faction in the civil war, what does it matter to me? There is no law that states that a foreign daimyo can interfere in a civil war, especially when daimyo of the country supports neither faction directly. You know as well as I and everyone in your court that the only reason you say you are neutral is your fear of being assassinated. I say that you grow a backbone and do what is right, Shishiyue." The crown prince exclaimed with an angry expression on his face, startling the daimyo and Shota. "Please calm down, Chiki-sama. It does no good to lose one's temper." Shoto said with a frown. He has served the present daimyo for over 4 years now. He has seen the crown prince grow up into a fine man. A man who was so even-tempered that even the winter wind seemed warm in comparison. Shiki took a deep breath before nodding in gratitude towards Shoto, then turned back to his father. I say that you now support the bloodline faction and cut off funding to Yagura. Take the opportunity that Naruto-sama's presence brings and break out of the yoke that Yagura has cast on you. Shiki-sama is right, Daimyo-sama. If you support the bloodline faction now, when they win, and I am sure it's when and not if, they will be more supportive of your resolutions. Besides, Kiri won't be weakened due to Naruto-sama's intervention. I am sure that Mei-san will offer a treaty with Uzushiogakur and Konohagakur. It would strengthen your power base even more. Please consider it. The daimyo hummed for a few moments before nodding. Very well, we shall agree with your suggestion. Let it be known that from this day forth, Yagura shall no longer get funding from our treasury. Send it to the bloodline faction. That's a wise decision, Shishiyue. I am sure that your decision will save us from retaliation from the Uzumaki. What do you mean, Shiki-kun? Simple, Shishiyue. Grandfather did order the breaking of the treaty that got us the 7 swords from Uzu. Your action should help us get into Naruto-sama's good graces, Shiki said as the daimyo paled in realization. Why did you suddenly stop Naruto? Jiraiya asked, only for the blonde to whisper, I sense a snake. Jiraiya's eyes widened in realization right before Naruto stomped on the ground, causing a balloon of rock to form around them before suddenly it merged with the earth and vanished. Where did they go? Ao asked with surprise, only for Sakura to say, I think that we are close by one of Orochimaru's bases. Then, went after the snake Sanin, Sasuke said with a wide-eyes expression when Naruto suddenly melted out of the ground with a sheepish expression. You guys head on. We will catch up after skinning the snake, Naruto said with a grin before phasing out of existence. Well, you heard the guy. We keep moving, Tenzo said, taking command. Everyone nodded before Mei asked, how are they going to find us? Don't worry about it, Mei-sama. Naruto makes sure to supply his team with reverse summoning seals. He will activate the alert seal, and one of us summons him to us, Sasuke said with a grunt. Mei nodded in acceptance before getting into place and moving on with the rest of the group. It seems that you don't have much time left, Kimimaro-kun. Hopefully, you will be well enough during the assault on Konoha, Orochimaru said with false sad expression. Kimimaro nodded with a sad smile as he got off the metal examination table. He turned to Orochimaru and bowing, said, thank you for taking out some time from your busy schedule to check my health, Orochimaru-sama. Think nothing of it, Kimimaro-kun. It is always a pleasure to help my loyalty subordinates. You should go and rest before helping Hugo with his powers. Kimimaro bowed in subservience before heading out of the room. As soon as Kimimaro was gone, Orochimaru turned to a darkened corner of the room and said, you know, Jiraiya, it's considered rude to sneak into someone else's home. A chuckle resounded from the shadows as Jiraiya stepped out into the light. That may be true, but isn't it common of old comrades to do just that? Kukaku. That's true, but I doubt you're here to reminiscent about old times. If you did, you would have brought Tsunade and Sarutobi-sensei with you, Orochimaru said, tensing for a fight. You're right about that, but then again, the only reason we would have a full reunion is if it comes out that you were undercover and Sarutobi-sensei knows. That's why you don't have the Oinen after you. Who knows, but even if I was, I wouldn't be able to tell you. How about we dispatch with the pleasantries and just get on with it? Orochimaru said with a dark grin right before thrusting his hands forward, sending multiple snakes flying at the Gamasanin. Without even blinking, Jiraiya threw a small kunai with a paper tag attached to the handle at the snakes. Just as the kunai was flying past the snakes, the tag glowed before a wave of pitch-black chakra erupted in the shape of a ball and consumed the snakes. Orochimaru raised an eyebrow in interest and said, interesting technique. If I didn't know any better, I would say that it was something an Uzumaki would use. How did you come by this seal, Jiraiya? I doubt you developed it. Who knows, maybe. I have had it all the time and you have never seen me use it, Jiraiya said with a cocky smile that infuriated the snake Sanin. Growling, Orochimaru jumped forward and engaged Jiraiya in a taijutsu bout. As the two Sanin clashed about the room, small shockwaves were running throughout the earthen walls of the base. Shockwaves that shouldn't appear as the walls were enhanced with chakra and stabilized with seals. I must say, Jiraiya, you have gotten better. Everyone knows that I am the strongest of the Sanin, but it seems that you are catching up to me. You? The strongest? We both know that in raw brute strength, Tsunade has trumped us, but I am the most balanced of us three. Kaden, Karyuenden. As the dragon-shaped bullet of flames rushed out of Jiraiya's mouth, Orochimaru slammed a fist into the ground, causing a wall of earth to rise in opposition of the flames. Unlike most walls, this one had an intricate snake motif engraved on it. While the two Sannin were fighting, their fluctuating chakra drew the attention of Kimimaro and Hugo, drawing the two to the room. With them were the rest of the shinobi present in the base. "You know, Jiraiya, this was very unlike you. Sneaking into my base and confronting me. Sneaking in and gathering information I can see, but why would you put yourself in such a disadvantage? This is quite unlike you." Jiraiya laughed at Orochimaru's words as Kimimaro and Hugo entered the room with the rest of Orochimaru's shinobi. "Orochimaru-sama," everyone exclaimed, seeing a wave of flames wash over the snake Sannin's position before the man crumbled into a pile of mud. Jiraiya jumped back as a sword nearly took out his head. Orochimaru had substituted with a Doden, Cage Bunshin, and flanked the Gamma Sannin. Forming hand seals, Jiraiya bit his finger and placed a hand on the ground, causing a plume of smoke to emerge. When the smoke cleared, two old toads were seen sitting on Jiraiya's shoulders. Without even a single complaint, the two fused with Jiraiya, causing the man to develop toad-like eyes, thicker nose with warts and yellow irises. Ah, the famed Sennin mode. Pity that I don't have the interest to truly study it. If I did, I could probably perfect my own Sennin transformation. I doubt it, Orochimaru. Men like you don't have the quality to become sages. You have neither the patience nor the disposition to master such a sacred art. A disembodied voice reverberated throughout the room, surprising everyone but Jiraiya. It seems that you aren't as alone as I first suspected, are you, Jiraiya? So, tell me, who did you bring? Orochimaru asked with curiosity, only for his face to pale even further as the wall behind Jiraiya parted. Out of the chasm, Naruto walked out with a regal presence. Quickly shaking his head, Orochimaru asked with a false excited expression, "Ah, Naruto-kun. So nice of you come visit me. Can it, Snake? You know as well as I do that I am here to bring you in, at best. Uro-sennin, Ma, Pa, why don't you three just sit back and enjoy the thrashing of the Densetsu no Heavy?" Jiraiya, Pa and Ma chuckled as Ma said, "Sure thing, Naruto-sama, let's see what the old geezer has taught you." Orochimaru frowned before grinning in a taunting way and said, "It seems that the legendary toads of Myobakuzen has fallen quite far. There was a time when you wouldn't treat a daimyo with respect like that, especially a child." "Really, child, have you forgotten that we give respect to those who deserve it and not demand it?" Pa said, causing Kimimaro to growl and say, "Who are you to disrespect Orochimaru-sama? You are a fool to respect such a dishonorable snake. Don't you know, a snake uses you before discarding you like yesterday's trash?" Kimimaro growled before making a small gesture, causing all the other shinobi accompanying him and Hugo to shout and charge at Naruto, who just sighed and punched forward, causing a wave of rocky spikes to emerge from the ground and stab through the legs of the shinobi. Orochimaru, Kimimaro and Hugo looked surprised as the shinobi fell to the ground, screaming their throats raw. The three watched as Naruto waved his arms, causing the earthen floor to flow around and consume the fallen shinobi, not even leaving behind a trace of the 30-some shinobi and kunoichi that had attacked on Kimimaro's orders. "Interesting jutsu, Naruto-kun. I didn't realize that your Doden affinity is so high that you have similar control of earth that the Nidaime Hokage had over water." Naruto chuckled tauntingly as he said, "It seems that for all of your vaunted intelligence, you are just an idiot. Don't you understand the difference between an ninjutsu and ninchu technique?" Orochimaru growled right before Kimimaro and Hugo charged at the blonde with the intent to kill. As Hugo charged forward, his arms morphed into axes while Kimimaro's body transformed slightly as he activated the second stage of the Ten no Joie. Jiraiya, Ma and Pa frowned as they sensed the corrupt natural energy flowing through the two. Naruto just shook his head in exasperation before he was covered in a cloak of golden chakra. Vanishing from sight, he reappeared in front of Hugo and tapped his forehead with his index finger. At first nothing happened, but then Hugo slumped as his transformation faded. A seal formed on his forehead in the shape of a nine-tailed fox, the tails forming the Uzumaki clan swirl. Orochimaru seethed in realization of what happened while Kimimaro narrowed his eyes and jumped forward with a bone sword, only for Naruto to turn and place a hand on his forehead right before he blanked out for a moment. When his focus came back, Kimimaro found that his access to his chakra had vanished, and along with it, his access to the Ten no Joie. In his hand, the bone sword was crumbling out of existence. "You are truly a coward, just like a pathetic weak snake. I am surprised that the Hokage Sennin still allows you to summon the snakes. You are only dragging their name through mud." Orochimaru growled as he bit his tongue to keep from responding. Instead, Orochimaru threw his hands forward, releasing multiple large snakes at Naruto while calling out, "Senai Tajashu. You are really desperate, aren't you?" Naruto asked as the golden cloak vanished, but his irises took on a golden hue. With glance, the snakes burst into a mass of blood and gore, their blood having turned against them. With another glance, Orochimaru found himself unable to move. "What is this? What are you doing, Gaki? You're the genius. You tell me?" But then again, Konoha tends to give out the titles of genius and prodigy too easily. "I am controlling you blood with my mind. I doubt that you have the ability to resist it, let alone escape," Naruto said with a sad smile. For the first time in a great while, Orochimaru found himself feeling true fear. Something he hasn't felt since facing off against Hanzo with his former teammates. Closing his eyes, Orochimaru drew upon the natural energy around him, hoping beyond hope that he would succeed. To his joy, he was able to activate his Sennin transformation. With the raw natural energy flowing through him, Orochimaru was able to squirm his hands together before activating the summoning tattoo on his wrist. A large puff of smoke appeared as the top of the base crumbled away. Jiraiya, with Ma and Pa on his shoulders, jumped out of the new leaf hole. Naruto followed with Hugo and Kimimaro floating behind him. "So, Orochimaru, you have the gall to summon me after failing my task?" a snake said, causing Jiraiya, Ma, Pa and Orochimaru to stiffen in fear. And why shouldn't they? Orochimaru had summoned the Hokage Sennin, the only being who was nearly as old as Gamamaru. Orochimaru was about to answer, but the snake cut him off. "I should kill you for staining the name of the snake summons, but luckily for you, you have summoned me in front of my old sensei's latest student. For this rare opportunity, I shall let you live, but your contract is forfeit." "Of course, Hokage-sama." Orochimaru simpered in relief while Kimimaro watched in shock at how the being he literally worships as a god was behaving. "Come forward, Naruto Dono. I must say, I have been excited to meet you. It's not every day I meet a fellow student. It is said that the rest of our fellow students have already passed on. Then that would mean you are a little Shiro? Sensei spoke fondly of you. Especially the time you decided to challenge Hagoromo-senpai. Yes, that wasn't my best decision. Anyway, how about us? I would like to see how far you have come. I can already see that you have mastered the art of breathing." Naruto nodded as he said, "I would be honored to spar with you, Koshiro-senpai, but may I capture the idiot behind you?" "Sure, go ahead. In fact, I will help you," Koshiro said, slamming his tail on the ground, causing it to launch Orochimaru into the air and land in between Naruto and himself. Sweating in fear, Orochimaru looked about only to see Jiraiya, Ma and Pa ready to intercept him. Not that he would try anything to begin with. Not with the Hokage Sennin and Naruto there. "Don't even think about it, Orochimaru. Don't fight the inevitable," Naruto said, his eyes returned back to blue. "All right, I give up. I will come quietly," Orochimaru said, raising his hands up. Naruto nodded and approached the traitor when Orochimaru suddenly smirked and clapped his hands together. Damn it. The team had a remote-activated reverse summoning array ready. Naruto cursed as Koshiro narrowed his eyes in annoyance with the former snake summoner. "It's a pity that Orochimaru has no honor. I still don't know why I told Manda to approach him. Are you sure we should hand the Gaki over? The Gaki's powers are highly valuable to us. We should have breeded some out of the bitch," an old man said, to the disgust of the kunoichi present in the room. The man sitting behind a large desk frowned. "We have been over this already. We aren't some barbarians like the Sandaime Reikage and his council were. We will not force the Clan Restoration Act on someone unwilling. You are all cowards. We are shinobi, we shouldn't have morals. We kill for a living, and that too indiscriminately. What a bit of forced breeding to save a nearly extinct clan. It is lucky we didn't. Didn't you hear what happened to those idiots over at Taki?" the eldest kunoichi said, getting a growl from the old man. "Besides, I think it's a good idea. It would garner the favor of the young but powerful daimyo," another man said with a grin. "But..." the old man started, only for the leader to interrupt. "That's enough out of you. The only reason I asked you to be here is for your experience. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been even informed. I have already decided to hand the girl over. I hope that our preemptive strike would make the girl's clan more agreeable to ally with us. Sachiko, I want you to be the one to lead the girl to Konoha and then try and get an appointment with the girl's clan head. I am sure that your extensive negotiation skills will tip the favor towards us." "As you wish, Morihiko-sama," Sachiko said with a bow. Then dismissed. Sakura, Guy, Kakashi and Mei suddenly stopped when they felt the powerful chakra aura press upon them. Sakura easily shrugged of the presence while Mei, Kakashi and Guy had to try a little harder. What was that? Mei asked in shock. Not even Yagura in full Bijou mode gave off such a terrifyingly overwhelming presence. What the hell is he fighting that requires 50% of his full power? Sakura commented, drawing incredulous stares from the three Kiri ninja. Mei turned to Alan and asked with a shaky tone, "What do you see?" "No need to ask, I can easily tell you what's happening," a cheerful voice said, causing all the veteran shinobi to throw a kunai at the intruder. A wall of earth rose to intercept the kunai before lowering to reveal Naruto standing there with Jiraiya, Ma and Pa behind them. Kimimaro and Hugo were floating in midair with restraining seals glowing on their exposed skin. An eyebrow twitched on Sakura's brow as she asked with a sweet tone, "Tell me, Naruto-kun, you don't happen to be thrashing Orochimaru alone, would you?" Sasuke quickly moved away from his irate teammate and hid behind Kakashi, who himself looked like he would prefer to be somewhere else. Jiraiya was the one who spoke. "Not really, the coward escaped using a remote-activated reverse summoning seal, but not before summoning the Hokage-sennin. Hokage-sama was a student of Gamamaru-sama just like Naruto-sama is. Being fellow students in the Sage Arts, they decided to have a spar. I am surprised that we haven't seen anything truly spectacular yet," Pa said, only for a massive pillar of fire to form in the distance. "Why do you tempt fate, you old baka?" Ma shouted, slamming a rolling pin on Pa's head. "Is that a giant white snake?" Chojuro asked with awe, only to gasp as the snake breathed out a wave of scorching hot flames that were countered by an immensely thick wall of water that appeared out of nowhere. "Where did that water come from?" Ao asked in confusion, only for a massive earthen construct to form in front of the snake. The humanoid construct raised a fist and punched forward, only for the snake to wrap itself around the arm and squeeze. A soft green-blue glow surrounding the snake. The earthen construct's arm crumbled to dust before reforming as the snake slithered back. Rearing up, the white snake extended his hood as a bright poisonous green glow gathered in his throat. The earthen construct connected its wrists together. Between the cupped palms, a violet ball of churning chakra formed. "Wow. The boss isn't holding back. I am sure that we haven't mastered that Senjutsu technique yet," the Naruto presence said, causing Team 7 to groan. "Oi Kakashi, how much are you willing to bet that the new technique will blow up in his face, again?" Sasuke said as Kakashi shook his head. And replied, "No bets. This is Naruto we are taking about. He has a habit of mastering complex techniques on the fly." Ao and Chojuro looked startled at the revelation while Mei just chuckled. When everyone looked at her with questioning glances, she just said, "It is a gift of the Uzumaki. I heard about it from my grandfather. He was an Uzumaki." Everyone nodded before turning back to the fight. Both the snake and the construct released their techniques at the same time. A beam of poisonous green energy flowed out of the snake mouth as a similar beam of dark violet energy erupted from the construct's outstretched hands. The two beams colliding with each other caused massive earthquakes where the group was. The place where the two beams met, a massive ball of unstable black energy formed. From the black ball, shockwaves were emanating, threatening to blow away the entire area. The Kiri ninja feared that a particularly strong shockwave would easily rip them all to shreds. "What the hell is happening to the trees?" Tenten cried out in shock, drawing everyone's attention to the forest near the battle. Small motes of black energy were flying off the massive ball, and anything the motes touched were rotted within seconds before evaporating into pale motes of green energy. Everyone shivered in fear as the Naruto present with them said, "I wonder who will win? The mixed energy motes of destruction and poison are going to cause serious harm to the immediate area." "What do you mean, Naruto?" Sakura asked with concern. "The boss is applying his knowledge on Onmyotan to transform the nature chakra into pure destruction. It's not really destruction but a type of chakra that forcefully transforms matter and energy into unadulterated natural energy. Its purest form. The trees are dissipating into natural energy. That the pale green motes. Koshiro's eye is using the same knowledge to transform the nature chakra into a corrosive energy. If the large black ball implodes, I really don't want to know what will happen." A gasp emanated from Tenten and Mei as the beams petered out right before the black ball expanded before imploding. Everyone waited for the inevitable explosion, but when it didn't come, they stared intently at the reduced ball and saw Naruto glowing yellow and the Hokage-sennin glowing green-blue, working together to unravel the unstable ball. They watched in awe as the ball separated into two distinct colored orbs, which were then dissipated into pale green motes of energy. After the ball was taken care of, the snake bowed and seemed to touch Naruto for a moment before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. "I think the spar is finally over." "No kidding, genius," Sakura commented, causing Neji, who had spoken, to blush in embarrassment. You know, I was expecting a more spectacular end. Sasuke drawled out as the clone just chuckled and dissipated into the air. As the clone vanished, everyone became aware of the dissipating barrier that surrounded them. If there was a barrier protecting us, how did we feel the shockwaves? The earthquakes I can understand, but the airborne shockwaves? Yugao asked, only for Naruto to appear, floating in the sky. Simple, Nico. The barrier was designed to deaden the destructive properties of the shockwaves. It's a simple barrier that's used to trick futon users. Simple to construct, easy to maintain, even a Genin would be able to keep it active for hours. Wow. I haven't heard of such a barrier before. Where did you come by it, Naruto-sama? Tenzo asked with interest. Naruto chuckled and said, easy, I created it. There was already a barrier seal that prevents any wind technique to pass through. I modified it with ninja knowledge to do this. It's an easy seal. If you want, I can teach it to you. That would be useful, Naruto-sama. Naruto nodded before saying, form up. We need to get out of here as soon as possible. Sakura, keep an eye on the pale boy floating beside Zoro Sennin. He seems to have a weak constitution. Everyone nodded as they formed up in the formation Naruto specified when they left Konoha, with the two prisoners in between Jiraiya and Mei. Ma and Pa bowed to Naruto before returning back to the summons realm. After everyone was situated, Naruto gave the order. It had been nearly an hour since Naruto and the Hokage Sennin had their world-shaking spar. The group had been silent for the whole duration, running at low jonin speeds towards the rebel encampment. Suddenly, Naruto stopped and called a halt to the group's movement. Closing his eyes, a pale green ore erupted from the blonde Jinchuriki's body. After a couple of moments, the ore receded as Naruto opened his eyes. Turning, Naruto saw everyone looking at him with questioning looks. Everyone was startled when Naruto's usual laid-back expression turned severe. The camp is about 50 miles from here, right? Mei nodded with a confused look. Naruto sighed, then I am sure that when we reach there, we will only find smoldering remains. Yagura's forces are attacking. Luckily, I didn't sense Yagura there. The Kiri ninja looked disheartened at the revelation. There was no way they would make it there in time to be of help, at least with energy to fight after arriving. The Konoha ninja looked down in disappointment. The Genin, for failing in such an important mission, and the Jonin for remembering the carnage such a sight would reveal. Lucky for you, I can get you there in a moment, Naruto said as he took out 3 kunai with 3 prongs, and threw them in a triangle formation. A translucent barrier formed around the group. I didn't know that the Hiraishin could be used like this. Jiraiya asked with Tenzo looking curious as well. Naruto chuckled, this isn't the Hiraishin. It's something used and developed by my clan. Now, before we leave, I have some orders. Sakura, there are many injured shinobi. I want you to focus in healing them. Lee, Sasuke, and Chujuro, you 3 make sure that she isn't blindsided. Sakura used the healing barriers. The 4 nodded and moved a bit to the back edge of the barrier. Naruto turned to the root team and said, you 4 will try and infiltrate Yagura's forces. Objective, sabotage and intel. The root team nodded, but before the leader could order the group to move to the edge, Naruto threw a sealing tag to him. Touch the seal to your forehead and channel chakra. It will transmit your mind to a receiver seal where you can give your report. Report to me thrice a day, dawn, noon and dusk. First report an hour after Yagura's forces retreat. Ao, Kakashi, Guy, Tenzo, Yugao, Sai, Tenten, and Neji, extraction detail. Bring the injured to the area Sakura and her team will establish. After the injured are extracted, make sure that the healing area isn't overrun. The group nodded and moved to the side, leaving behind Jiraiya and Mei. Mei, I need you to rally your troops. Uro Sennin, you go with her. Make sure that she isn't assassinated. Everyone looked startled at the order, but Jiraiya just nodded. A determined glint glowing in his eyes. Naruto nodded in satisfaction and was about to activate the teleportation function when Jiraiya asked, then you plan to take Yagura's forces on yourself, right? Just like Minato. He didn't know the meaning of outnumbered as well. Everyone chuckled while some of the shinobi had apprehensive expressions on their faces. Before they could realize what happened, they found themselves in a different place. Each team away from the others. Sakura was disoriented for a moment before regaining her composure. Activating the seal on her forehead, Sakura quickly made some hand seals and slammed her hands on the ground. A massive sealing formula formed underneath her before a translucent silver barrier formed. The barrier covered an area large enough for several hundred people to easily gather underneath it. Nodding in satisfaction, Sakura turned to the three boys and said, "I need to concentrate. Don't let anyone distract me. One mistake can cause the death of my patients. Chujuro-san, have your people come here for healing?" Chujuro nodded before calling out, "Everyone, listen to me. These are some of the reinforcements Mai-sama went to Konoha to acquire. Sakura-san is one of the best Irionin Konoha has to offer, so Irionin, cooperate with her." Everyone under the barrier nodded as the heavily injured shinobi were moved closer to Sakura. Everyone was shocked when Sakura shook her head and commanded strings of water to form out of the air and connect her with the injured. The strings started glowing blue as a similar blue glow encompassed the patients. The Kiryu-Ryonin watched in shock as the injuries started healing at an accelerated rate. Seeing the Kiryu-Ryonin standing around gaping, Sakura growled out, "Why the hell are you all gaping like fools? The barrier enhances Iryo-Jutsu used underneath it. Use it to your advantage. Heal the ones I am not working on. There is a limit to how many I can heal at a given instance. Try and send the critically injured shinobi to me." Blushing in embarrassment, the Iryonin started rushing about doing as ordered. As they rushed about, Chujuro, Sasuke and Lee gathered the combat-fit shinobi and organized them into a defensive formation at the edge of the barrier. "Damn Gaki. Did he have to teleportation us without warning?" Jiraiya grumbled as he regained his composure. Beside him, Mei took a bit longer before straightening up. Looking around, Mei saw that they were alone. "Where are the others? I think Naruto teleported each team to a place where they would be most helpful. We should get going. Which direction is the command center?" Mei just nodded and rushed off to north of their position. After a couple of minutes, the two S-ranked shinobi reached a large tent where multiple shinobi and kunoichi were rushing about with a couple of experienced-looking jonin giving orders. "What's the situation?" Mei asked, causing everyone to jump before relaxing at her presence. "Mai-sama. The situation is dim. They attacked right at the time we changed guards. We have a traitor amongst us. Half the forces are critically injured, of which 10% are expected to perish within the hour. The rest of us are fighting back as well as we can, but we need to retreat. Unfortunately, a second battalion is covering all the retreat points. What do we do, Mai-sama?" "Calm down, Takeshi. Reinforcements are already here. We have Jiraiya of the Sannin right here. Jiraiya-sama, please help us," a kunoichi begged. "My job is to make sure that Mai-san survives. Naruto is already taking care of the enemy forces," Jiraiya said with a grin. As everyone but Mei gaped at Jiraiya's confidence, a kunoichi wearing the mark of the medical corps rushed in. "Takeshi Teiko, Mai-sama is back with reinforcements from Konoha. We can see that Osaki. Why did you leave your post at the medical station? What can we do? Haruno Sakura is single-handedly healing hundreds at the same time using some kind of Suiten Jutsu. We haven't seen anything like this before. Tsunade could do something similar with Katsuya's help. Is Sakura using any summon?" Jiraiya asked, causing the woman to stare at him in shock. The woman gaped for a few moments before stuttering out, "Not any we could see, but she did summon a barrier." "Ah, I see. An Uzumaki healing barrier combined with healing ninja using water. A true prodigy in the arts of healing. Tsunade would kill to have her as an apprentice. Takeshi, send out this order. Have all able-bodied shinobi and kunoichi of A-rank are to mobilize and help Naruto-sama with the offensive." "I don't think that will be necessary," Jiraiya said with a chuckle as everyone stared at him with incredulity. Mei was about to comment when a young shinobi rushed into the tent screaming, "Yagura's forces have been defeated in the southern corridor. A blonde kid wearing a hitai with the kanji for Bijou and Sennin carved on it has taken them down with his very presence. Don't know what he did. But all of the enemy forces are unconscious and restrained by the very earth itself. Takeshi Teiko. All of Yagura's forces on the northern and northeastern front have been neutralized. Uzumaki Naruto-sama appeared and took them out using the very sky itself. All enemies are restrained by stone shackles grown from the earth." "How is he in multiple places at once?" Takeshi asked, only for Mei to say, "Clones." "That's right. He is a master of the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," Jiraiya said with pride. "Then we won't need to send him aid, do we?" "I'm afraid not. Likely, we would only be in his way," Jiraiya said with a frown. "All done. The enemy has been neutralized. I took care not to kill anyone but those who were giving off malicious intent towards you. I decided to send Yagura's commander back to Yagura with a challenge. Hopefully, the war will end by the next week." All the Kiri ninja bowed in gratitude and greeting when Naruto said, "No need to bow. I hate injustice, so if I didn't help, I would have become what I hate. Mei-sama, a messenger from the daimyo. A shinobi said, leading in a youthful-looking man. Shiki-sama. You honor us with your presence, Mei said with a bow. Shiki nodded in greeting before turning to Naruto and bowed, welcome to Mizuno Kuni, Naruto-sama. I just wish that it was during better circumstances. No need to bow, Shiki-san. I am not much into formalities outside formal events. Beside, as I said to Mei, I would become the very thing I hate. Someone with power who encourages injustice. People in our position should help the unfortunate. Shiki blushed at the not-so-subtle jab at his father's indiscretions during the Civil War. I agree with you there, Naruto-sama. Now if you will excuse me, Mei-san, here is the official decree of my honorable father, the daimyo. It says that as of now, all government funding towards shinobi affairs are being directed to you and those under your command. Yagura has been cut off. It took my father some time to realize it, but Yagura has only weakened Kirin Mizu as a whole. Please accept my sincerest apologies on behalf of my honorable father. Mei looked startled as she received the official decree with a bow. Coughing to regain her composure, Mei said, I humbly accept your apology on behalf of your honorable father, Shiki-sama. Shiki-san, tell your father that I will come visit after taking care of Yagura. Now I would advise against taking harsh steps against any captured shinobi from Yagura's faction. I can sense many only following Yagura out of loyalty to Kirin Mizu. Since your father took this long to refuse aid to Yagura, they believe they were in the right, only following their daimyo. I am sure that all of them will support Mei and her forces when the decree becomes known. I see, Naruto-sama, Shiki said with a chagrined expression. I will make sure that my father doesn't treat them too harshly. Mei-sama. It's a miracle. Haruno Sakura has healed even those on their deathbeds. Akira Ryanin exclaimed with excitement as he rushed into the tent. You know, dropping your guard like that right after victory is declared can cause your death, Sakura said as she walked into the tent with Sasuke, Lee, and Chojuro. The barriers still need a bit of work, Naruto. It falters a bit every time someone passes its boundaries. I will see to it later then, Naruto said before puffing out of existence. Where did Naruto-sama go? Shiki asked with confusion. Sakura and Sasuke chuckled as Sasuke said, the question isn't where he went, not it's where he is. He wasn't really here. It was only a clone. Kakashi and his team are nearly done. Now to catch myself a traitor, Naruto said, confusing everyone. But how will you know who the traitor is, let alone there is a traitor? We only know because of the timing of the attack and how Yagura's forces covered every retreat point that there is a traitor amongst us. Simple. I can sense the malicious intent directed towards Mei, Naruto said, causing everyone's eyes to widen in realization. Seeing that his only chance was about to be gone, Takeshi jumped forward with a kunai in his hand, intent on killing Mei. As everyone shouted out in shock at the sudden action, Takeshi found himself dangling in midair, his breathing becoming harder with every breath. If you had given up, I am sure you would have lived. Now. Naruto left the man's fate hanging as he clenched his fist. Everyone watched with fascination as the traitor's eyes bulged before blood started leaking out from the tear ducts. At the same time, the nose and ears also bled while the throat was crushed into oblivion. A strangled choking sound filled the tent as blood pooled in the man's lungs. As the man finished twitching, Naruto let his fist relax, causing the corpse to fall on the ground. That's not a nice way to die. A young girl said, drawing the attention of everyone to the entrance of the door to see Tenten standing there with the rest of the extraction group. Neji was pale as he realized that it could have been him that one time. Sakura had approached the corpse and quickly checked for a pulse. Finding none, she used her credentials as a Ryanin to declare the man dead. Oi! Another jar of sake. Bring your best one. A blonde-haired woman shouted out with slightly jerky movements. I think you have had enough sake, Tsunade-sama. A black-haired woman carrying a pig said with disapproving frown. Oh, don't be like that, Shizune. Just one more jar. After that we head off towards the capital. The new daimyo of Uzu really is a great guy. I still can't believe he was able to single-handedly defeat a whole battalion of Iwa shinobi. Yeah. Then don't forget, he freed Nami without any help from his team. I still can't believe that the daimyo is barely 13. Tsunade growled in anger as she stood up and approached the trio of merchants. Where the hell did you hear such absurd stories? There are no more Uzumaki left. I should know, my grandmother was Uzumaki. Who the hell are you, lady? And where were you living, under a rock? Guys, I think she's Tsunade of the Sanin. What? Then how can she not know about Naruto-sama? He's the face of Konoha. the son of the Yondaime Hokage. What did you say, Gaki? Minato and Kushina's son died on that accursed night with his parents. Tsunade screamed, ramming her fist through the table. Shizune was trying to pull Tsunade away when a small puff of smoke appeared on Tsunade's shoulder. When the smoke cleared, a small white slug was seen. That's enough, Tsunade. Do you wish for me to revoke our agreement as the Hakuja-Sennin has done to Orochimaru? Huh? What do you mean, Katsuyu? Tsunade asked, placing a glowing palm on her forehead. After a few moments, she removed the hand, completely sober. Orochimaru accidentally summoned the Hakuja-Sennin to fight against Naruto-sama. Both of them were, or at present are, the students of Gamamaru-sama. Hakuja-sama took the chance to revoke the summoning contract. I see, but when did Gamamaru-sama start taking students again? I was sure Jiraiya and the two Toad sages complained about him being senile. That's what everyone thought until he came out of his trance-like state. For nearly 600 years, he has been completely immersed in nature and its energy. The sage arts we know of are barely the surface of a deep ocean, Katsuyu said gravely as Tsunade and Shizune looked startled at the information. I see, and who's Naruto? And why are you giving him such respect? Because he deserves it. How many people can say they developed sage mode without help? How many have mastered the power of their bijou, particularly the Kyuubi? That too before his 13th year. Alright, I see why you respect him so much. And since you said he has mastered the Kyuubi's chakra, can I assume that Sensei lied to me about Kushina's son's survival? Yes, he did. I don't know the reason for Sarutobi's decision, you have to ask him yourself, but I will tell you one thing. All of such summons believe that Uzumaki Naruto-sama is the Yogen no Kids. Shizune. We are going to Konoha. Pack everything up and meet me at the southern road. I will take care of the payment here. Hi Tsunade-sama, Shizune exclaimed and rushed out of the shop just as a Konoha Anbu wearing a boar mask appeared. Senju Tsunade. A joint missive from the Uzu and Fire Daimyo. The woman said, handing over a sealed scroll with the personal seals of the aforementioned daimyo. Do you know who the present Uzu daimyo is? Tsunade asked as she took the scroll. Boar chuckled and said, who doesn't? Yondaime-sama-san is someone truly amazing. I am sure this will clear up some things. Tsunade raised an eyebrow as she took the bingo book from Boar and looked down at the marked page. How the hell did the kid get a flea on-site order from 3 countries? I am not really surprised. He can easily take down Konoha's best alone without even tapping into the Kyuubi's chakra. From what Sarutobi Asuma said, Naruto-sama took down both Han and Roshi in bijou mode without even trying, all the while suppressing a contingent of Iwa's best. If that doesn't merit a flea on-site order, I don't know what does. Especially since he is strong enough to do that with causing lasting injuries to his opponents. I doubt even his father would be able to defeat him. Tsunade nodded as she broke the seals and quickly read through the missive. Chuckling, Tsunade said, it seems to be your lucky day, Boar. You don't need to futilely attempt to convince me to return back to Konoha. That is a relief. I was afraid I would have to order my team to try and subdue you. You should know that you still have some blood relations left. Naruto-sama brought back many living Uzumaki. The eldest of whom seems to be an old friend of your honorable grandmother. Tsunade nodded with suppressed tears as she said, get your team ready. We leave in an hour. I am looking forward to meet the brat. I am sorry to say that Naruto-sama is in Kiri at the moment, helping the Kiri rebels. You will have to wait until he returns, Boar said with apprehension. She could feel the killing intent Tsunade was releasing at that small tidbits of information. She just hoped her team survives. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.